Hello everybody, this is Link coming at you guys with another PoE video. This time I'll be talking about my next build. I'm just gonna do some like proof of concept and talk about kind of like what my plans are. If you guys have been following along, then you guys know that I just recently completed the no-hit Sanctum run, so I have acquired the original Sin. And a lot of my past couple days have just been kind of theory crafting builds that I could potentially use this build with. And the one I've decided to go with is the Phantasmal Cremation Necromancer. It was one of my favorite builds that I've played in the Sentinel League. It's my first time playing it, and I unfortunately didn't get a chance to min-max it completely through because I died to a bug with Uber Eater. Um, so here's a POB of my Sentinel League character, which is pretty beefy. You can see it has 90 max res, like I don't know how it works, but 1,400,000 EHP. We have like 12.8k ES. Pretty much almost max spell suppression with Mage Blood and some other things. We have max block for the most part, and we have around 77 million DPS. So if we go into the new POB, you can see some quite differences. One is that I have half the ES, but I have almost like I think like triple the damage or something like that, right? And that is due to the original Sin. Um, so if you don't know how this build works, basically we use the Phantasmal Unnerf and the Phantasmal Cremation combination in order to um, basically like blow up all these corpses on the screen that we spawn with Unnerf. And we can scale corpse life using the phantasmal aspect of it, which is corpses spawned have 20% increase maximum life. And then we use ashes to bump up the alternate quality, which is another 30%. And then we use enhance and empower and whatnot to bump up the quality even more. So you can see that the quality of this gem is at 90%. And interestingly enough, this is the nerf version of it, right? So I think if you've been following PoE patch notes, you'll see that they've nerfed corpses and their maximum life due to how broken it was. And excuse me. Um, but yeah, so the damage is quite insane due to us being able to convert all this previous fire damage into chaos damage. So how does this like one ring basically triple our damage? The way we do it is we convert everything to chaos, and then we're able to drop everything like exposure. So like before we used to have a flammability ring, and now we no longer need that because we're doing chaos damage. And because the resistance is directly set at 0, we don't have to worry about anymore adding like skill gems like flammability and whatnot. We don't need exposure from like Awaken Fire Pen. So in our cremation, we can add like Awaken Void Manipulation. So add more chaos damage, which is like raw damage. And then the biggest thing is that we can use Wither, and we get Wither from Wither on hit if you've cast Despair in the past 10 seconds. And as you all know, Wither effect is basically 6% increased chaos damage up to 15 stacks. So if we remove this, you can see that our damage is quite around like 88 million, about 90 million, but then we add the Wither stacks, then we get up to this crazy huge bonus. And using the combination of Corruption, increased effect of Wither, and the Chaos Mastery of another increased effect of Wither, you can see like this one node is adding like 11 million DPS, right? And this is like another like 20 million or something like that. So it's something disgusting, basically. And then we also have Chaos Penetration from Heart of Darkness, which is quite OP. And as you all know, acquiring Chaos Pen is extremely hard to do. Some different things that I've done for this build is that now that we have Grand Spectrums, I'm getting my minimum and endurance and frenzy charges from there. Getting some res through there, and yeah, the ES is quite low because now we're going to be using an incandescent heart. We no longer have access to the recombinators, and previously I had this disgusting Val Regalia with 100% increased global defenses. Now that we don't have that, we're just going to opt for the incandescent heart, which gives us a lot of damage and a lot of elemental damage mitigation. And hopefully we don't need to worry about physical mitigation because our armor is at 155k. And the reason why it's at 155k is because we are using iron reflexes on our sanctified relic, uh, um, alongside grace and determination. And then, you know, well, basically, it's converting all of our armor or all of our evasion to armor. Um, so that should solve all of our physical problems, our physical damage problems. And then our elemental mitigation, clearly we have incandescent heart, which is converting 25%. And we also have a lot of block, and we'll be at 90% max res due to melding and the Aegis Aurora combination. And then last but not least, the only thing we are missing is suppression. But like, do we really need suppression when we have like this much max res and another 25% from incandescent heart? Hopefully not, but we'll see. My hope is that it should be good. I think the only problems I can see that this build will have trouble with is one is probably degens. But we do have a lot of ES regen. We have 1034, and obviously elemental pen, and that's due to our low ES pool. So one thing I am thinking about is we clearly don't need 190 million DPS. But maybe it might just solve all of our issues because we can just phase all of the bosses. But I might drop some points on the tree for like more ES like through here. I can grab ES through here and like here. Um, Still deciding on what I want to do in terms of how I can get more energy shield. But for now, this is kind of the setup I'll be going for, and I'll just kind of play it by feel. This is just remember a build in progress in terms of like what I want to potentially do. But so far it looks pretty good. I've acquired most of the gear in this POV, and yeah, there's a lot of min maxing left to do in this build too, so it should be fun. Um, but I guess like to quickly go through it, is we're gonna have a +2 scepter or a wand, and then we have Aegis Furides, and the Ashes combination. So these are our core items. For our ring, our magic ring is just going to be a Crusader increased maximum energy shield. It has to be an unset ring, so unfortunately I won't be able to use any like triple synthesis implicits due to the lack of gem sockets. Gloves and boots are going to be pretty straightforward. It's just energy shield, and I'm just trying to get strength and dex on them due to the high requirements. We need 155 strength to match the determination, and then we need 159 dex due to the grace, and then or I think also awaken GMP too. We'll see. Oh, it's 100. It's only 126, but and then last but not least, our belt. Ideally, best in slot would be Mage Blood, but I haven't acquired one yet. Not sure if I will, but I've crafted this pretty neat belt, which gives me 615 armor and a lot of energy shield. And it has a really nice reduced flash charges used mod on it. And then our Abyss Jewel is just ES and res. This build does require quite a bit of jewel sockets, which is the reason why we're going for the triple cluster jewel setup. And our cluster jewel is just going to be the elemental 8 passive skills setup. I'm thinking about potentially using a voices, but I'm not really sure. I got a POV how that'll go. But clearly, ideally I'd want like a voices like 1 socket or a 3 passive voices. But that's quite a lot of bit of money, and I still have to acquire some of these jewels that I haven't fully acquired, like the Grand Spectrums. But I'll probably end up farming those myself. And then we'll be using 283 mana reservation efficiency skills with the 25% increased effect, because I think the 84s don't exist, or they're like 25 divines each right now. But I'll probably farm some myself so that I can potentially drop this sanctified relic. But yeah, one thing to note too is this is also not on the focus and the enemy is on low life setup. So if the enemy is on low life, then we're doing 300 million damage with with double damage. So this build gets kind of crazy. If yeah, if we can, I don't know, it's pretty strong. It's a good build. I think it should be fun. I think it's gonna be the build like one of the highest DPS dealing builds I've ever done. But yeah, going through our gems really quickly. It's gonna be Phantasmal on Earth, we'll be using punishment as one of our curses. Purifying flame is optional depending on if I have a socket. But we have bone offering for our block. We have the standard defined spanner, molten shell for our guard, flame dash for teleporting around. We have discipline because we're a CI build. Paired up with purity of elements to give us ailment immunity and also counteract melding. We have determined grace, the combination, so we convert grace to all of our armor using iron reflexes. We have cremation plus all these. This will give us our damage using phantasmal cremation. Our other movement skill is going to be shield charge. We're going to use clarity because we have severe mana issues. This is kind of a big problem. We have purity of ice paired with the melding setup to give us our 90% maximum resistances. We add despair that we're going to self cast every 10 seconds so that we get wither on hit. Again, ideally we get wither on hit through our sanctified relic, but right now I'm using a increased mana reservation efficiency of skills relic in the meantime. And then these two I have here because these are going to be my two synthesis implicits on my weapon. Going into my tree is pretty straightforward. It's just we're trying to get as much mana reservation as possible, as well as getting the 3 cluster jewel setup. And then we'll be picking up any nice notables along the way. For example, we picked up Sanctum of Dot, and then we picked up Glancing Blows through Dart of Hope. Picked up Divine Shield because, well, we have a lot of armor and a lot of ES. We get Arcane Guarding to cap out our spell block because you can see we're at 58%, and we get to 74% with it. Get more jewel sockets here and there. One really nice thing about this Militant Faith here is that it's giving me a lot of mana regen per second and increased effect of non-cursed auras. Ideally, I want this to be something like, I think I want Arcane Surge on hit here, and that'd probably be the best in slot. But then that would mean I need to figure out how to get another, like, how much devotion am I missing? Like 30 more devotion, right? So then I think I'd just like pick up these 3 nodes, and I'd be at 150. Oh wait, maybe I'm not. Whatever. I'll figure it out if I ever find something good that can utilize this setup. Yeah. In any case, Militant Faith is good here, and then yeah, we use CI, and then we go down here for more mana reservation. Overall, pretty straightforward, I'd say. It's just gonna be a lot of damage, and I'll probably scale back the amount of damage for some more energy shield, because I don't think I really enjoy playing energy shield builds at like 7.1k. But even though this build has like disgusting recovery, and our recovery is due to Essence Skeleton, where we regenerate 8% of our ES when you consume a curse. So yeah, I think it'll be a fun build. I'm almost done leveling my character. Once I get it set up going, I'll probably create another video like showcasing how it's like playing out, and we'll go from there. All right, cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Bye bye.